Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. Let's take a look at the charts. I will start with this one. A lot to glean from here. A long-term sell signal 3 weeks ago when we closed below the 375.71, 16, 17-month rising channel bottom, a structure that actually held nicely last April. Having closed below it, our initial target has been met, and that is this descending channel bottom combination wave count in the 298.62 down to 291.81. That 291.81 is a wave count. You've got A minus B. The distance between the two, subtracted from C, takes you to 291.81. The same sort of sequence we're using for the channel bottom itself at 298.62. We've tested this area, and from here, we can round up potentially to 375.71. I don't know, 3 to 5 weeks is possible. Let me actually jump into that. On the way up, something that was accomplished actually on Monday was the settlement back above this 318.37, a longer-term trend line. And that does lend itself toward upward continuation. We also closed just above this descending channel bottom, and this is our real pivot point, 318.43. So whether you choose 318.37 or 318.43 is up to you, but above which 337.24, that April 26th low, is likely over the next day or two, and quite possibly by Friday's close. By the end of next week anyway, 352.50 is likely. Now, I'd mention how 352.50 is likely as a 2 to 3 week target anyway, following the testing last week of this significant 290 support. And so we have this kind of, how should I put it, this, it seems contradictory, but it's just two different time horizons. You know, longer term, holding below 375.71, anticipating 227.66 as an overall possible 3 to 5 month objective. In other words, possibly by the end of the year. But near to midterm, we'd mentioned how you can actually bottom pick the 290s, anticipating upward rotation into potentially the 375.71 region. But we have 352.50 that precedes it, and I do think that should be respected for its ability to contain buying not only through next week, but even through the rest of August. Perhaps we could fall away. You could, depending on how you trade, if you scale into short positions or you scale out of a long position. So, for instance, if you bottom picked the 290s last week and you're still long and you're holding out for, an upper resistance area to unload, you could scale out. You could scale out of half at 352.50. And if we close above it, you could scale out of the rest at 375.71. There is no absolute correct way to do it. The correct way is the way that you feel most comfortable doing so. And so that is that. I think you can also short sell 352.50 once tested. Let's go back to this chart here, 337.24. I have it as an intraday resistance level only, but also know that if we close above it today, we should this week test 352.50, where once again we can top out for the week and even perhaps into later August. I'm going to say, in just sort of a broader picture, that 352.50 represents the beginning of a wide zone up to 375.71 that can indeed contain buying pressures, quite possibly through the rest of the year, and below which our overall objective remains 227.66. Speaking of 227.66, if we were to collapse back and settle this week below 291.81 by the end of September, I think 227.66 is likely. On the way down, we have 271 even, which is that July 24 high. Let me see if there's anything else to glean here. Yeah, I think if we close today, if you want to make that 318.37 be my guest, that's probably not a bad idea. That is that long-term trend line I showed a moment ago on the weekly chart. If we close today back below 318.37, we probably have a good high for the week, and within several days retest the significant 291.81 to 298.62 area, where we can once again bottom out through August, perhaps into September, round up into the 370s perhaps over the next month or two. But if we close below 291.81, there is nothing to be but short as we move through the rest of August and into September. By the end of September, I would expect 227.66. That is a base of long-term support combined with a 6-year channel bottom at 186.75. This zone is bottom picking territory on a on an investment basis. In other words, you could buy Tesla in the 180s to 220s and hold that into next year and even perhaps through the rest of the decade. I think that pretty much rounds it out. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 2-week trial. You'll get daily NVIDIA, daily SPY, daily triple Q analysis, two individual stock picks a week. And I'm going to leave it at that for Tuesday's Tesla report. You have a great day.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity.
Start your 2-week free trial and trade with clarity from day one.